football because last Tuesday night, me, you, Josh Ungar, we came on here and we said there's probably not a shot Texas is going to lose a game this season. And we had a very astute commenter say that, well, any given Saturday. And what do you know? Any given Saturday, Georgia looked like they got back to being the best team in the country, came out absolutely whooped Texas 30-15. Texas was going back and forth between Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning, which was really strange to me, especially with the success that they were having going into this game. It sort of felt like Texas was feeling itself, like they could just walk in and push Georgia around like they were going to do to Georgia what Bama did to them in the first half, and that didn't happen.
No, it didn't. And as a matter of fact, a lot of sports guys are going to hate me. I didn't watch this game. I was at a birthday party, and we had the guards on, obviously, because that was going on. But I did look at the score, and I was shocked. And I did see on TikTok and various other social medias how they were rotating between Arch. I think Arch should be the starting guy from here on out. I like the way the kid plays. I know he's young, and I know a lot of you probably think I'm just saying that because of his last name, but that's not true. I think he's great, but no, the Georgia Bulldogs, pun intended, are some dogs, and they will always be some dogs. You can never count out the dogs ever. So I'm telling you right now, never count out the dogs ever.
Well, let me just say this, because I'll counter to your point about Arch and Quinn Ewers. Like, I think Quinn Ewers is a very good quarterback. That's not saying that Arch isn't good, but I think that Quinn Ewers is one of the top quarterbacks in the country. To me, like, it doesn't matter who you go with. They could not block up front against Georgia, and that they had the best offensive line in the country going into the game.
I did watch the highlights. Everything Georgia wanted, they were getting. It was honestly, it looked like Texas was terrified.
There was a moment in the game. I don't know if you saw this. It almost got Texas back in the game. There was a controversial pass interference call on Texas on a play that was almost a pick six. Texas intercepted the ball. They got down to the 1 yard line. They called PI, defensive PI, on Texas. They went to commercial break. And when they came back, it was announced that officials on the field, again, this was already after they threw the flag, picked it up.
I did not see that, actually. What?
I've never seen anything. I've seen it where they throw the flag and then they discuss, is it not, and they make the announcement. I've never seen them throw the flag for pass interference and then pick it up.
No. That's bad. That all those people who say there's a script in sports, you're giving them ammo right there. You're giving them absolute ammo, and that's horrible.
And then, if we switch over here to the other game, did you get a chance to see Tennessee against Alabama at all?
I saw maybe a quarter of it.
Yeah,
maybe.
I am shocked. Again, Alabama, they're moving on from Coach Saban to Kalen DeVore, who I really liked at Washington. For whatever reason, ever since the first half ended against Georgia, Jalen Milroe's been a different player. I mean, seriously, he's gone from like trying to get into the Heisman conversation to nowhere near it in 3 weeks.
Yeah, he looks like he's been playing like college football, and he started off as a 5-star, and then he's going down the ranks right now because he's having bad games. Like, that's what it is. He's almost like a video game character. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, no. And the concerning thing about Bama too, obviously they lose to Vanderbilt, and Tennessee, by the way, they're a good football team, but they haven't shocked the world over the past month either. Bama just can't stop the pass, period, at all. They can't stop anybody.
Well, let me tell you something. The Tide needs to roll and get some better pass coverage, because if not, they're rolling themselves right out of the playoffs.
By the way, speaking of the playoffs, this is where I wanted to get to the conversation between these two games. Obviously, Georgia knocking off Texas, Tennessee knocking off Bama. In my opinion, the real rankings don't start till the committee rankings come out, which I believe is at the 1st of November. Can somebody explain to me how Alabama is a worse football team than BYU or Indiana? Because I'm sorry. I don't care if Alabama has 5 losses. I think they beat BYU by 50.
Oh, they beat the tail off of them, and twice on Sundays. But we know how this college system works. It's a bunch of BS. It's all BS. You know it.
So right now, the rankings are obviously Oregon is number 1 now. You have Georgia number 2, Penn State at number 3, and then Ohio State, your team, at number 4.
Which is ridiculous. Which is ridiculous. I didn't mean to cut you off. Which is ridiculous.
No, go ahead.
Because we beat the brakes off Penn State, and I am confident in that. I'm 100% confident when we play Penn State, we're putting up 30-40. I promise you.
So that game's in Napa Valley. That is a noon game. Noon, 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning, Clash at the Castle time for wrestling. I don't care. I don't care. Josh Ungar, I really hope you're listening to this, buddy, because I got this game circled, and when we whoop you, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna say, I told you. So this is a little bit off topic, but Josh, I know, is a big proponent of. He wants every single game that can be in prime time at night. He doesn't love the noon game. He doesn't love the 3:30 game. My take has always been on it is I like one big game at noon. I like one big game at 3:30, and I like one big game at 7:30. And I almost prefer, to be honest with you, the big game to be at noon or 3:30, because then Saturday night I can rest up for Sunday. But I want to get your take on that.
I agree, but I disagree because there's something about that 7:30 feeling when say you're playing Penn State, it's a whiteout, crowd's hot, or you're down in the shoe and we're playing Notre Dame or something, and our crowd's hot and the environment's just perfect, or especially now when it's like the fall weather, like in the garage. Like I was at a party for the Oregon one in a garage. Everyone's fired up. It's late. It's like somewhat late. We're all fired up. We're all celebrating, hoping that Ohio State pulls out. It's a different environment. But the thing is with the noon one, like wake up at what? I wake up at 10:30, and then for hours I'm just fired up from 10 to 4 whenever the game's over. So it really depends on. I feel like the Michigan-Ohio State game should always be noon, right? And then everything after that can be a night game, or like you could rotate. But I feel like the one game that needs to stay a noon game is Michigan-Ohio State because it's always been big noon.
Who do you think right now is the best team in the country?
Oregon.
Wow, you do.
I do. I really do, and I think they got something that my favorite NFL team, the Lions, have: grit, and that's why I think they're the best team in the country right now.